What's going on, Husker fandom? Ethan Vice here with another 4 Hours to Lincoln. Hey, I got a excellent lineup here for you. Before I get to anything, hit that subscribe button. Let's get started. So the University of Nebraska has 2 new members today added to the Husker family. One in women's gymnastics, one in men's basketball. I'll talk about those here in a second. Also got some recaps for you over Sunday. That's what I'll begin with, actually. And then rundown for tomorrow. You got a baseball game against KU and a softball doubleheader against Iowa, which also happens to be my birthday tomorrow as well. So we get 3 rival games on my birthday. So it'd be a damn shame to drop any of those games at all. So anyways, guys, let's get right down to it. Let's start with the bad on yesterday, and then I'll work my way up to the good. So let's get started. Softball against Michigan. This team got swept. It's really no surprise, though. Michigan's a really good team at home. They haven't lost at home yet, and why would Nebraska beat them at home? You know, I didn't lose any hope for the softball team at all. I think you know, Nebraska's softball is still a pretty decent team. They're not elite. They're not gonna be like a World Series team by any means, but I think they can just get on the edge of making the tournament still. But they got a lot of work to do until then. All right, Michigan scored 9 runs over the 3rd and 4th innings to defeat the Nebraska softball team 11-3 in 6 innings yesterday. With the loss, the ladies are now 24-19 and dropped to 8-6 in Big Ten play, which they can redeem that tomorrow when they play Iowa, who's a bad team, and I will actually preview that as soon as I get done talking about yesterday's game. Caitlin Kinney took the loss, allowing 5 runs in 3 innings. Caitlin Neal pitched for the first time in 2 years and allowed 4 runs in 1 inning. Emerson Cope pitched the final 1.1 innings and allowed 2 runs on only 1 hit. Michigan was really hot at bat yesterday. Offensively, 6 Huskers had a hit in the game. Sydney Gray and Malia Toms each doubled, while Peyton Cody and Bella Bacon produced Nebraska's lone RBIs. Lauren Durkowski earned the win for Michigan, allowing 3 runs in a complete game effort. They do improve to 33-13 overall and 14-3 in conference play. So it's a really good Michigan squad. Michigan got back-to-back singles to begin the bottom of the 1st, but Kinney retired the next 3 batters to work out of the jam. Michigan had a similar situation in the 3rd and took advantage to score 5 runs with 2 on and none out. An RBI single plated the game's first run. Nebraska then recorded the first out on a fly out to center field, and it appeared the Huskers got a double play throwing behind the runner at second base, but the runner was ruled safe. A 2-run triple gave the Wolverines a 3-0 lead before the final 2 runs scored on an error and passed ball. Nebraska answered with 2 runs in the top of the 4th to cut the lead 5-3. This is where I had a glimmer of hope. Gray began the inning with a double before Emerson Cope walked. An error allowed Gray to score and left runners at 2nd and 3rd with no outs. Cody then came through with a sac fly that scored pinch runner McKinley Maleka. In the bottom of the 4th, Michigan scored 4 runs. The first 2 batters walked before a 2-run double made it 7-2. A 1-out RBI triple followed by a sac fly pushed the lead 9-2. In the top of the 5th, Tom still delivered a pinch hit, 1-out double, and Billy Andrews followed with a single, but the next 2 batters were retired on 3 pitches. Nebraska did come through in a similar spot in the top of the fifth. Cody reached on a one-out single before Ava Bradwell was hit by a pitch. Bacon then delivered an RBI single up the middle, trailing 9-3. Nebraska had runners on second and third with one out, but had to settle for just one run through. Although Caitlin Kaneda crushed a pitch down the right field line that went just foul, narrowly missing a 3-run home run. Michigan then hit a 2-run homer in the bottom of the sixth to end the game early. Following 6 consecutive road games, Nebraska does return home for 5 games this week at Bowlin Stadium, beginning with tomorrow's doubleheader against Iowa. So some post-game notes from this. Nebraska was swept in a 3-game Big Ten series for the first time since April of last year, and that was at Northwestern. The Huskers' 3-game losing streak is its second longest of the season. Malia Toms had a pitch hit double in the 5th inning. Toms is 1 for 4 as a pinch hitter this season, and 4 for 15 overall with a pair of doubles. With numerous injuries to Nebraska's pitching staff, Caitlin Neal made her season debut in the circle. Neal arrived at Nebraska as a pitcher and hitter and threw 2.2 innings over 3 appearances as a freshman in 2021, and 1 inning over 2 appearances as a sophomore in 2022. So it sounds like there's a lot of pitching woes going on for softball at the moment. Really sucks not having Jordy Ball this year, but next year that'll change for the better, I do believe. Okay, so let's talk about Iowa now. They will play for the first time in more than 2 weeks. Tuesday. Yeah, so this is first Tuesday in like 2 weeks that we actually have a game. And they do host the Hawkeyes for a double header tomorrow. The first one starting at 4. And then the second one scheduled for 6:30. Let's see. The Huskers are coming off a 2-4 road trip that included a series win at Rutgers before going winless at Michigan, as I just discussed. Let's see. 2 of Nebraska's 3 losses at Michigan last week. This week were 1-run defeats. Close games have been a common theme for the Huskers in conference play, with 3-run rule victories. 4 of Nebraska's Big Ten losses have been by a single run, while 7 of the Huskers' 14 conference contests has been 1-run games. Nebraska also played 5 extra inning games in Big Ten play, with at least 1 game going to extra innings in each of the Huskers' first 5 conference series. All right, so leading off, 6 of Nebraska's 24 players, which is 25% of roster, are out for the season with an injury, which is crazy to me because softball is known to have excellent conditioning. This team, anyway, they win awards every year for it. So it's crazy to me. Nebraska is 3rd nationally with 27 double plays. 7 of Nebraska's 14 Big Ten games have been 1-run games. Only 18 players in the 14-team Big Ten Conference have 20 extra base hits, and 3 of those players are Huskers. Nebraska has won 4 games when trailing after 6 innings this season. Its most such wins in a season this century. The Huskers have won 8 of the 9 Big Ten meetings against Iowa in Lincoln. 8 of the last 10 games in the series have been played in Iowa City. That's crazy. Nebraska is number 49 in this week's NCAA RPI, so that's good. I think you want to be in the top 60 or whatever. Billy Andrews is 2 home runs shy of becoming the 6th player in Big Ten history with 60 career home runs. So that'll be really cool if she can achieve that. Billie Andrews is expected to make her 200th career start, all at shortstop in Game 1 on Tuesday, which is tomorrow. Billie Andrews and Sydney Gray are the only players to win multiple Big Ten Player of the Week awards this season. And Caitlin Kaneda is expected to make her 100th career start, all at second base in Game 1 tomorrow. So let's see. Let's talk about Iowa. Let's scout Iowa real quick. They are 16-21 on the season, and the Hawkeyes sit in 12th place in the Big Ten standings with a 4-11 conference record. Iowa has lost 9 consecutive games. The Hawkeyes have played 3 conference series this month and were swept at Purdue, at Michigan, and last weekend at home against Indiana. So it's not like they had an easy outing either. This could be a big game for them and for us, so that's crazy. Nebraska and Iowa share 4 common opponents this season, which is Michigan, Sacramento State, Utah, and Wisconsin. The Huskers posted a 5-4 record against that group, while the Hawkeyes went 4-5. Iowa is batting .256 as a team while averaging 3.5 runs per game. Defensively, the Hawkeyes rank 5th in the Big Ten with a 3.15 ERA and allowing 3.8 runs per game with a .964 fielding percentage. So, if anything, it looks like our bats can fly in this game. Riley Moss leads Iowa with a .376 batting average and 44 hits. She has 2 doubles and 8 RBIs on this season. Gina Young is hitting .360 and leads the Hawkeyes with 4 home runs, 11 extra base hits, a .550 slugging percentage, and .433 on-base percentage, while tying for the team lead with 5 doubles. Sujin Berry is the 3rd Hawkeye starter, hitting above .300. Berry owns a .324 average and leads the team with 3 triples, 22 runs, and 25 RBIs, while tying Young for the team lead with 5 doubles. In the circle, Jalen Adams has thrown more than half of Iowa's innings this season. Adams is 9-10, having earned the decision in 19 of Iowa's 37 games. She boasts a 2.47 ERA in 124 innings. Adams pitches to contact that she has only 41 strikeouts in her 124 innings, but opponents are hitting only .255 against her. Devin Greer has seen the most action behind Adams. Greer is 2-5 with a 2.54 ERA in 41.1 innings. Jaylee Ojo has thrown 38 innings in this 3-3 with 1 save and 4.05 ERA. Haley Down, Andre Jaskowiak, I hope I said that right, Marin Judish, let's see, and Kelsey Winters round out the Hawkeye staff. And then you got Renee Gillespie is in her 6th season as Iowa's head coach. She owns a 134 record at Iowa entering Tuesday's doubleheader. So she's just 500 as a coach. Let's see. Gillespie is 963 and 713, and then 3 and 30 seasons as a collegiate head coach. Prior to Iowa, she guided UCF to a 625, 403, and 1 record in 17 seasons from 2002 to 2018. From 1996 to 1999, Gillespie went 118, 123, and 1 as Texas Tech's head coach. Gillespie began her head coaching career at Bradley, leading the Braves to a 86, 53, and 1 record in 3 seasons from 93 to 95. So she's had a lengthy career, and she's an okay coach, I guess you can say. I hate to say that about somebody, but she seems just okay as a coach to me. All right. Let's talk about women's tennis real quick. I told you I'd keep going with the bad till I get to the good. So let's see. They dropped their match to Michigan 4-0. They got swept by them too in tennis. Action against the Wolverines started with doubles play. In the number 2 spot, Anna Zamburik and Anfisa Danilchenko battled against Carrie Miller and Bailey Sheenan, but lost 6-3 on court 3. The Huskers' Isabel Androver Gallego and Lucy Loy fought hard against Julia Fligner and Lily Jones, but Michigan managed to secure the doubles point with a 6-1 win. The match between Rafaela Cassie and Maja Petrovic on court 1 was left unfinished at 4-4. All right. On to singles, Zamburik fell to number 116 Piper Charney in straight sets, which was 6-2 to 6-1 on court 4. Michigan native Petrovic lost to number 85 Lily Jones 6-0 and then 6-2 at court 5 to put Michigan within 1 point of the conference title in match victory. Danilchenko was then defeated by number 24 Julia Flegner to give the Wolverines the overall victory. Up next, the women's tennis team will stay in Michigan for the Big Ten tournament, which starts on Wednesday as they play Indiana. So not a very good season for women's tennis. They have been struggling as of late, but I'm going to move on and talk about men's tennis because this team is really, really exciting me right now. So let's talk about them. They got a win against Penn State yesterday, which was very good. They dominated. They didn't only win, they dominated and claimed the most victories for the program since 2009. As the number 58 Nebraska men's tennis team now moves on to 16-9 and 5-4 in the Big Ten. I know you're all saying that's, an okay record, which it is, but this team's playing pretty hot right now. Despite that loss against Ohio State, the number 1 ranked Ohio State team, this team's actually looking pretty good right now. And I think they got a good shot at this Big Ten tournament coming up. I really do. I mean, yeah, it'll be a tall order, but so was Nebraska when they played Iowa in the Big Ten championship. You all know how that went. That was a pretty close game. But let's talk about this. They closed out the regular season with a 7-0 sweep of Penn State, who is 5-19 and 1-8 in the Big Ten. So yes, they're not a very strong team, but, you got to dominate matches like that, But, yes, this was on senior day of all days, so that was really awesome. Highlighting the day was seniors Rudy Christensen, Shunya Mariama, and Nick Weidenhorn, each winning their matches, and number 119, Calvin Mueller, claiming his 5th ranked win and 26th of the season, defeating number 79, Miko Ila, 6-4, 3-6, and then 1-0. This guy needs to move up in the ranks. I don't know how he's still ranked clear up to 119. I really believe he belongs in the 50s range with the wins he has this year. The Big Ten matchup began with doubles at the Sid and Hazel Dillon Tennis Center on court 1. Number 85 Anton Shep and Weidenhorn had a dominant match against Miko Ila and Stefan Simeonovic, defeating the Nittany Lions 6-1 at number 3 doubles. Leo Linquit and Mariama finished next, taking down Ari Katulas and Alexander Sturin 6-2 to clinch the doubles point. Then Calvin Mueller and Lars Johan competed at number 2 doubles, but their match against Nolan Ranger and Jack Martuccio was abandoned at 4-5. The Big Red began singles with the lead, and 5 Huskers took the first sets. Christensen was the first to finish, defeating Ritvik Nadekudi 6-1, 6-0. In the number 6 slot, Ronnie Haitaranta played the number 5 singles slot and took down Alexander Sturin 6-0 and then 6-3 on court 3. Mariama clinched the match win for the Big Red, defeating Nolan Ranger 6-2, 6-3. Johan was next to finish, playing Jack Martuccio in the number 4 slot and winning 6-2, 7-5. On court 1, number 119 Mueller had yet another ranked upset win, defeating number 79 Miko Ila 6-4, 3-6, and then 1-0. At number 2 singles, Shep rallied to come back and secure the 7-0 sweep for the Big Red, taking down Stefan Simanovic 1-6, 6-1, 7-6. The senior day sweep improved the Huskers' record to 16-9 to conclude the regular season. The 16th win marks a program best since 2009. Mueller's win at number 1 singles was his 5th ranked win, finishing the regular season with a perfect 5-0 record against ranked conference opponents, defeating Ela, and also notched the juniors' 26th singles win of the season to tie Toby Boyer for 5th place on the single season victories record list. Mariama earned his 19th singles win of the season on court 3 and his 18th doubles win after defeating Katulas and Stieren. Concluding the regular season with a 5-4 conference record sets the Big Red up as a number 5 seed in the Big Ten tournament. They do conclude home play with an 11-3 record when playing at Dillon. Head coach Peter Cobelt has led the team to a program record most wins from a first-year coach all time. So that's good news for this tennis team and the future for it. It's looking really good. But yeah, as I said, they will take on, I might have said Illinois, but I meant, or Indiana, but I meant Illinois. They play Illinois on Friday in the quarterfinal round of the Big Ten tournament. I kind of wish they can do, and I don't know if they do like an individual. I know they have like the team brackets, but I kind of wish they had the individual rounds too, because I guarantee Mueller will win a individual championship. The way he's been playing right now has been nothing but incredible. So if they had like a individual Big Ten bracket play, I think that guy would win it all. I really do. But yeah, all right. Moving on, let's talk about women's golf now, as they finished Sunday with their golf tournament. Michaela Babrova produced Nebraska's best individual round for the 3rd consecutive day, posting a 1 over par to finish with a 3-round total of 220 to lead the Huskers at the Big Ten Women's Golf Championships in Maryland. Babrova, who is a senior from Slovakia, was 3 over through the first 6 holes on Sunday, but rebounded for 3 birdies, 6 pars, and 1 bogey over the final 10 holes on the 6,314-yard par 72 layout at the golf course there in Maryland. She tied for 28th to lead the Huskers in the 84 golfer field. Kellyanne Strand also, she contributed to a 74 to produce Nebraska's 2nd best round of the day and 2nd best individual finish. I really think she could have done a lot better had she not been recovering from injury and all that, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. Sophomore from Idaho put together a 54-hole score of 224 to tie for 40th. Strand was 4 over through the first 9 holes before bouncing back to play the back 9 at 2 under par. It is good news we get her for another 2 years at least, though, so that's good. Lindsay Teal and Lena Hasser contributed rounds of 76 to Nebraska's 299 final round team score in the 6-count format. The team just fell apart in this thing. Teal, a senior from Wahoo, closed the tournament in a tie for 55th at 229. Hassert, a junior from Germany, pitched in her first county score of the tournament for the Huskers on her way to a 71st place finish at 234. Then you have junior Miu Takahashi. She managed a final round of 78 to end the tournament and a tie for 49th at 227, while freshman Arden Lushim settled for an 80 on Sunday to tie for 72nd overall at 236. Nebraska finished at 893 overall through 3 rounds to finish 10th in the 14-team Big Ten championship field. The Huskers finished 5 strokes ahead of Illinois and Rutgers, who tied for 11th at 898, while Penn State and Iowa rounded out the field in a tie for 13th, 9 strokes back of Nebraska at 902. The team race went down the wire, despite Michigan State entering the final round with an 11-stroke advantage over Indiana. The Spartans battled their way to a final round 295, giving the Hoosiers just enough space to surge to the conference title with a 283. Indiana won the championship by 1 stroke as Michigan State closed at 857. Northwestern took third at 863, while Purdue and Michigan tied fourth at even par, 864. Ohio State, Maryland, Wisconsin, Minnesota rounded out the group of schools ahead of the Huskers. Minnesota's Isabel McCauley put up the best round of the tournament with a final round 64 to storm to top of the individual leaderboard alongside Michigan's Monette Chun and Indiana's Caroline Gregg. All 3 golfers finished with a 54-hole total of 209. Indiana's Caroline Smith and Northwestern's Lauren Negayan rounded out the top 5 individuals in a tie for 4th. So now the selection show for the NCAA Division I Women's Golf Regionals will be held on Wednesday, April the 24th. And the selections will air live on the Golf Channel from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern, so noon Central. So I have no clue or if anybody's going to get picked or selected into that. I mean, you got how many schools and you got, I don't know, 60 golfers. I have my doubts we'll see anybody from here in that field, but I guess you always have hope for an at-large bid, but it sounds like a long shot to me. So anyways, before I get to baseball, my final segment, let's talk about the 2 Huskers that have been added via transfer portal today. You get, like I said, one into women's gymnastics and the other for men's basketball. Let's start with Nia Kraus, added to the gymnastics roster. Let's see, and she is a sophomore, was previously a member of the Lindenwood gymnastics team and competed in every meet for the Lions, including 4 in the all-around. Kraus earned NOS of 9.835 on bars, a 9.880 on beam, and a 9.830 on floor. Not bad scores at all. Her beam NOS was the highest on the team, and she was in the lineup on the event in every meet. She is from Canada. She represented Lindenwood on beam at the 2nd round of the NCAA championships in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Over the course of the season, she earned 2 beam event titles and scored a 9,900 3 times, which ties the 3rd highest score in Lion history. She was named a first-team All-MIC honoree and posted impressive scores on bars and beam at the conference championships. On January 17th, she was named the MIC Gymnast of the Week. Krause helped Lindenwood Gymnastics to an 8-4 record in its final season as a program and will have 2 years of eligibility with the Huskers. So it looks like Lindenwood's shutting down their gymnastics program, so she had to leave, and she picked a good place, which is Nebraska, so that's really awesome. So now, switching gears, we got Connor Asegian, who was added via transfer portal to Nebraska. Let's see. He will be playing for next season. 6'4", 195-pound guard from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Spent the last 2 years at Wisconsin and will have 2 years of eligibility remaining. That is very nice. Hoiberg said that Asegian's combination of shooting ability and Big Ten Conference experience made him an ideal fit for the Huskers. Let's see. This is also quoted by Mr. Hoiberg. As we build our roster, Connor's skill set fits what we are looking for. He has performed at a high level in the Big Ten and was one of the top freshmen in the conference 2 years ago when he set a school record for three-pointers by a freshman. Connor is an outstanding shooter and has that confidence that good shooters have. He has been on successful teams at both the high school and college level, and the experience he has gained playing in the Big Ten the past 2 years should help him make the transition to our system. So those are words by Mr. Coach Fred Hoiberg. Asegian played in 33 games for the Badgers in the 2023-2024 season, averaging 3 points per game as Wisconsin went 22-14 and reached the NCAA tournament. He also posted a pair of double-figure efforts, a season-high of 15-point effort at Rutgers and 12 points, including a season-high 4 3-pointers, and a win over the Huskers in Madison. I remember that game. Asegian was one of the best freshmen in the Big Ten in 2022-2023 as he helped Wisconsin to 20 wins and an NIT semifinal appearance. He was named the Big Ten All-Freshman team as he played in all 35 games, including 19 starts, and averaged 11.7 points and 4 rebounds per game. He was third on the team in scoring and became just the fourth Wisconsin freshman in the last 25 years to average double figures. Asegian set a school record for a freshman with 69 three-pointers, while he was 10th in the Big Ten in three-pointers per game while shooting nearly 36% from beyond the arc. He reached double figures 24 times, including a pair of 20-point efforts. Asegian had a season high of 24 points at Michigan after having 23 points, including 9 of 10 from the foul line in the first matchup with the Wolverines. Asegian recorded his first career double-double at Indiana with 14 points and 11 rebounds, and had 17 points against Kansas in the 2022 game. In the 2022 Battle for Atlantis tournament, as y'all know what that is, as well as an 18-point effort with 4 three-pointers at Penn State. So not a bad resume for this guy. Let's see. Asegian was a prolific scorer during his career at Central Noble High School in Fort Wayne, totaling 2,526 points to finish 10th all-time in the state of Indiana. So that's good news right there. As a senior, he led Central Noble to the Class 2A state basketball title game, averaging 26.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 2.3 assists per game while shooting 43% from three-point range. He was a finalist for Mr. Basketball and an all-state selection at Central Noble, and went 28-3 as a senior. His 2,526 points broke a school record which has stood for 44 years. During his junior season, he led the Cougars to a 20-1 season, averaging 24.6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2.5 steals per game, while shooting better than 41% from three-point range. That season featured a school record of 44 points during an 81-71 victory against Trubusco in the conference tournament quarterfinals. Asegian led Central Noble to its first NECC tournament title in 50 years during his sophomore season, averaging 24 points, 8 rebounds, and 2.2 steals per game. His 648 points that season was the highest single season scoring total in Noble County history. So Asegian joins a talented incoming transfer class, which includes Andrew Morgan, Raleigh Worcester, and Gavin Griffiths. So good stuff here. Fred is not messing around. He is adding some great additions to this basketball team. All right. Moving on to my final segment, which is baseball. I'm going to recap Sunday and then give tomorrow's preview for you. So Nebraska matched its season high in runs for the third time this season in a 16-4 thrashing of Maryland in 7 innings on Sunday afternoon. Nebraska is now 25-12 overall, 8-4 in the Big Ten. They totaled 16 runs on 16 hits, while Maryland now drops to 25-16 and 6-9 in the Big Ten. They had 4 runs on 6 hits and 4 errors. Caden Brimbaugh fell a homer away from the cycle, going 3 for 4 with a double-triple, 3 RBIs and 3 runs scored. Tyler Stone had 3 for 5 afternoon with a home run and 2 RBIs. Riley Silva drove in 3 runs and tallied 2 hits, while Cole Evans and Josh Overbeek recorded 2 hits apiece. Ben Columbus, Garrett Anglam, Case Sanderson, and Dylan Carey tallied a hit each. Will Walsh improved to 4-2 on the season in a 5-inning performance, becoming the first Nebraska pitcher to go 5+ innings in a start on Sunday. Wow. Really? Okay, Walsh allowed 4 runs on 6 hits and struck out 7 Terps across 5 innings. Okay, Kyle, is it Froelich or Freilich? I hear it both ways, but I like Froelich better. But he tossed 0.2 innings in relief. He wasn't out there very long, recording a pair of strikeouts along the way. Kyle Perry pitched a shutout inning in the 7th to close out the run rule victory. The Huskers wasted no time jumping on the Terps on Sunday, and Stone drilled a 381-foot 2-run homer down the right field line to give the Big Red a 2-0 lead. After the opening frame, a solo homer in the top of the 2nd trimmed the Nebraska lead in half before the Husker offense tacked on a trio of runs on 3 hits and a Terp error to extend the lead 5-1 through 2. Sanderson drew a full count walk, while Evans blooped a first pitch single to right to place runners on 1st and 3rd with no outs. Sanderson scored via a pass ball on a play where Carey struck out. Evans stole 2nd and then advanced to 3rd on an error from the Maryland pitcher receiving the baseball. Back-to-back RBI singles from Brimbaugh and Silva gave the Huskers a 4-run advantage. Nebraska piled on 5 runs with 7 hits and a couple of errors from the Terps to grow the lead to 10-1 in the 4th. 5 straight hits to start the inning had the Huskers out front by 8. Carey led off the inning and scored on a play where Overbeek reached on a bunt single and took 2nd after a wild throw from the Terrapins. I believe that was a play when the pitcher ducked and then the catcher started to throw, but hit the pitcher in the leg while he's ducking. So there's times I thought we looked ridiculous, but that was a pretty bad play. Bad error on their part. Brimbaugh followed Overbeek with an RBI triple down the left field line, while an infield RBI single by Silva plated Brimbaugh. Silva took 2nd on the play after an errant throw by the Terps, and Columbus continued the hitting parade for Nebraska offense with an RBI single to right to score Silva. Maryland finally recorded an out after 5 straight hits from the Nebraska offense. A 2-out double to left center by Sanderson placed runners on second and third, while Evans singled deep into the hole at shortstop for an RBI single to bring home Columbus. Walsh sat down the Terps in order in the 5th before Brimbaugh's RBI double to left expanded the lead to 10 for the Big Red. The Terp offense came to life in the top of the 6th with 4 hits, including a trio of RBI singles to make it a 7-run game heading into the bottom of the 6th. The Huskers answered with 5 more runs on 2 hits and an error to enlarge the lead to 16-4. Karen opened the inning with a hit by pitch, while 4 straight walks from Maryland's pitching staff kept the bases loaded for Nebraska's offense and added 2 more runs. All right, Silva lifted an 0-1 pitch to left for a sac fly to score Evans. A wild throw from the Terps on the sac fly moved runners to second and third on the play, setting up England's 2 RBI single to left field to make it a 16-4 game through 6 innings. Perry took the mound in the 7th and retired the Terps in order to preserve the 16-4 run rule win for the Huskers. Nebraska does continue its homestand this week, welcoming KU to Hawks Field tomorrow. As you all know, we lost 1 game to KU already. I am not looking forward to that happening on my birthday tomorrow. So for the love of God, please beat KU. And let's talk about that game. All right. Through 253 all-time meetings, the Huskers hold a 149-102-2 advantage over the Jayhawks in the all-time series. So at least we lead the all-time series. We can always say that. Nebraska and KU meet for the 2nd time this season after the Jayhawks came away with a 13-11 win. That was a very high-scoring game. And that was earlier this month. It seems like forever ago, but yeah, it was just earlier this month. Tuesday's tilt is the first trip to Lincoln for the Jayhawks since 2010, where KU took 2 of 3 games from the Big Red in a weekend series. We cannot allow that to happen tomorrow. We need a midweek game bad. Christo gets the nod for tomorrow's night's game. Drew Christo is set to toe the rubber to make his 9th start of the season tomorrow against KU. Christo is 1-2 on the season and has compiled a 4.82 ERA and 28 strikeouts in 37 innings of work, while opposing hitters have posted a .236 batting average against the Elkhorn native. All right, Karen named to the Buster Posey Award watch list. We already know that. Ben Columbus is tearing up the plate right now. I don't know where this come from, but he has been on a tear. He has been a monster lately. But yeah, since the first week of April, he has just been outstanding. After just 5 hits in Nebraska's first 29 games this season, Columbus has hit 13 of 25. So he's .520 at the plate with a double, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs, and 8 runs scored. The double and 4 homers are all of his extra base hits this season and his first 4 career homers with the Big Red. So, yeah, it's just out of nowhere. He has been a monster. Let's see. Caden Brumbaugh is hitting .352 in the leadoff spot with 13 extra base hits and 16 RBIs, recording knocks in 8 of his last 11 games. The Edmond, Oklahoma native posted a pair of 3-hit games against the Terps last weekend series. 7 for 13 with 3 doubles and 5 RBIs. Brimbaugh's 38 hits are second most on the Huskers this season, while the sophomore's 13 multi-hit games lead the Big Red. Then you got Riley Silva. He's been stealing bases like crazy. Posted a .417 on-base percentage for Nebraska and collected his 10th multi-hit effort against Maryland. He has started 36 of the 37 games this season and holds a 1.000 fielding advantage, which is 93 for 93, ladies and gentlemen, in center field for the Huskers. So, not too often you see such things. Okay, Silva is one of 9 D1 players to steal 22 plus bases and be caught with 2 or fewer times, including the only Power 5 player this season. So, you know, I have been knocking this team for all month, pretty much. It's been a hard month for these Huskers, but, man, you got outstanding players like this. I just don't get how you get some of the losses that we had. I mean, there's just a lot of talent on this team, and I don't get it. You got guys like Riley Silva here. He is the 10th Nebraska player since 2000 to swipe at least 20 bases, including the first Husker with more than 20 stolen bases in a season since Alex Gordon in 2005. Alex Gordon, ladies and gentlemen, one of the best baseball names this team's ever had. All right, so bats in the Nebraska lineup. Cole Evans is hitting .285 with 7 doubles, 3 home runs, and 32 RBIs across 37 games, including 32 starts, while Rhett Stokes holds a .310 batting average with 8 doubles and 10 RBIs. Dylan Carey has hit in 7 of his last 8 games and leads the Big Red with 12 doubles, while Tyler Stone is batting .320 with 6 doubles, 5 home runs, and 22 RBIs. Garrett Anglim has posted knocks in each of his last 4 games, including .287 this season with 5 doubles, 2 homers, and 20 RBIs. Josh Overbeek is batting .279 with 5 extra base hits and 26 runs scored. And now you got the Huskers in the pen. Casey Dice has a team-high 4 saves with a 1.93 ERA for the Huskers across 14 innings of work. Dice has allowed just 1 earned run over his last 9 appearances, dating back to the first weekend of the season versus OU. James Worthley is 2-0 with a trio of saves across the bullpen high of 20 innings, making a team-high 7 multi-inning relief appearances for Nebraska. The Southpaw has punched out 17 batters while issuing just 3 walks. Kyle Perry's 17 relief appearances lead all Nebraska relievers as the seniors 1-1 with a career-high tying 3 saves. Ron Sanders has a 3.18 ERA across 11 innings, and his 14 appearances rank as the 2nd most for the Huskers. Evan Borst is limiting opponents to a 125 batting average this season while posting 11 strikeouts over 9.2 innings of work. And then you got Kyle Froelich, who has appeared in 10 games for the Huskers, punching out 11 batters across 11 innings, while Tucker Timmerman leads all the Nebraska freshmen with 13 relief appearances. So that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Busy week for the Huskers. I have talked about the 2 softball games going on tomorrow, the doubleheader against Iowa, and then the baseball game against KU. Lord help us. Please let us get these wins. It's my birthday, for crying out loud. We got to win. And then moving on to Wednesday, women's tennis will take on Indiana in the Big Ten tournament. Then on Thursday, if the women beat Indiana, then they'll move on to Thursday. And then you got track and field. Let's see, they are going to compete in the Prairie Wolf Outdoor Invitational. Just one day of that. But then you got the Drake Relays. I'm not sure who's all going to that, but I will preview that later on this week, maybe tomorrow. And then Friday, women's tennis continues. Shall they continue, I should say. And then the men's Big Ten tournament starts on Wednesday as well, or Thursday, excuse me. But for our men, they don't play till Friday because they get a bye because they ended the season so well. So they will play Illinois in the Big Ten quarterfinal rounds. Track and field continues at the Drake Relays as well on Friday. Men's golf will start the Big Ten championships. Softball will start their series against Northwestern. Baseball will start their series against Iowa. Then on Saturday, same thing for men and women's tennis. Shall they continue? The Drake Relays continue for their final day on Saturday. Men's golf will continue on. Then you got the football spring game, which is going to be highly exciting. Everybody's looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Baseball, softball continued their series. And then Sunday, women's tennis, if they do continue, will be the Big Ten championship finals or whatever. Same for the men's tennis. Men's golf will continue on the Big Ten championships. And then softball and baseball in their series finales. So that's the lineup for this week. It's going to be a very busy Husker week, but always an exciting week. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are all excellent to each other. Go Big Red.